So today I'm going to give you a sewing room tour, but first I'm going to ask you to look at this whole room from a perspective of what would you do in this space to make it better. We bought this house about 2 years ago. I love this space. It's right off the kitchen. It's 13 by 20 feet. It's huge. It's a great room. It has really high ceilings. It's awesome. When we first moved in, we just kind of put any kind of mixed matched furniture we could find from our old house in here, and I intended to redo the room almost immediately and never did. I kind of got stuck, and there's a few places I got stuck, which I'll talk about in this video. So this video is going to serve as a before, hopefully, and I'll be able to show you the reveal sometime in the future of how I remade this entire room. Now, I realize it's a great room. It's fantastic. I'm super blessed. It's awesome. I did have a small room before. I worked out of a dining room, like a lot of you. I worked on my kitchen table, all of that. So this is a wonderful blessing that I have. But I'm kind of stuck, and there's some issues in this room that have almost paralyzed me. Have you ever been in a situation like this? I don't know what to do. I don't know what is going to make it better. So I'm going to take you around the room, show you the room. I would love your opinions on some of the issues I'm having with figuring out this space. So let's get started. So this room is right off our kitchen. And if you come through the door, the first thing you see is this wonderful cutting table my husband made for me. Now, if you've been watching me a while, you know that this cutting table used to have an arm off of it. It used to have like almost like a bar right here. We ended up taking that off a few months ago because it just was way too big and clunky, and I couldn't even get around it. This works a lot better for me, even though I loved having the bar and able to sit at it, but it just didn't work out completely. And then my husband built me a wonderful pegboard on the side for a lot of my rulers. We still have some plans for that. And if you've been watching me a while, you know I was supposed to paint this last year when he built it, and I still have not painted it. So that's one of the issues, but that's pretty easily remedied. So we come over here. This is where I edit, my calendar, everything that I'm working on, that type of thing is over here. I have a cart that has just overflowed with other stuff and books, and it's also where I do my morning devotion. So I have my Bible and all that stuff here. I also have some projects I'm working on that have just been piled and piled and piled here. As you can see, this is probably the messiest spot in the room. Maybe I shouldn't have showed you this first. Oh well. There is filing cabinets here that I have some patterns in, but they are also a mess. These bins were my attempt to organize. I got those at Home Goods, and as you can see, things are just piled on top. I also have my maker up there, my Cricut maker, that I hardly ever use. Over here, I have a pile of quilts that need to be bound. They're underneath this old quilt that I purchased recently that's very faded and stained. I have them covered up because I do get sun in this room through this window, especially in the afternoon, and I don't want anything fading. That said, I also have some fabric and project bins over here that are stacked up that probably shouldn't be near the sun. I keep this window blinds closed like this, not down, so the sun is deflected up. This is one of the issues I'm having because I'd love to use this space here almost for a couch or a sitting area so my dog can lay in the sun, and also I can kind of sit and relax if I need to or whatever. Here it's perfect because the sun rolls in, but it's just, I don't know exactly what to do. Also, as you can see, I don't have curtains up yet either. I'm not even sure what to do for curtains. So that's one of my struggles. I also have the printer in here. This is the family printer. This is what we use. So kind of like to get that moved out. This is an old dresser that my husband changed into a shelf, and then I proceeded to sponge paint it yellow. So that's probably something we're gonna move to another space. You can see that this bookshelf is a brown old bookshelf. It is falling apart. I've had to repair it a few times. My husband's had to repair it a few times. I'm ready for it to collapse any minute. I think we bought it like 30 years ago at a big box store. Same thing with this one. This one's a little more sturdy, but it still has some issues. We had to put it back on it and repair it. It looks really pretty with all my fabric on it. I would probably keep this going forward, but it is still has some problems. I don't think it's gonna fall apart like the other one. And then you can see I keep this stuff on top. Also, my ceilings are super high, but I have this light that's kind of hang in there that my husband put up as a temporary, or we thought a temporary fix for lighting in here. So we need to do something with the lighting, hopefully some can lights or something throughout the top. If we go over here, you can see there's boxes on top. And then I have this cabinet, which is a hot mess. Let me show you. You can see the stuff inside. I have a lot of quilt tops, projects, all kinds of stuff, and I tend to stuff it in there. Same thing with below. There's a ton of stuff just stuffed in there. So I'm definitely not using the space as well as I could. Now this area where I sew, I have my 2 sewing machines set up. My thread rack that again my husband made me are over here. I have my books right here and they're on wheels. There's a platform. Again, my great husband made me. So I can roll that out when I need it. It's still a kind of a pain because I like to get into some of those things. I have this shelf over here too. Again, no curtains. And then I have this unit that has all my AccuQuilt stuff in it and just some stuff. If we go over here, I have this case that was my aunt's, and it houses all of my needles. So every needle that I need, other than machine needles, they're hand needles, are in that. I have a lot. I have my serger down here on the floor. My travel machine is in that case. And this is all my recording equipment, or some of it, I should say. I have some more here. And then I have a drawer in this wonderful dresser. I'm gonna back up. So that drawer right there houses all of my, the rest of my equipment, recording equipment. That bottom drawer is stuffed with scraps that I need to go through and is a hot mess. And then I have my ironing board, my Swiffer, my vacuum over here. And then I have this piece of furniture that I got at a thrift shop that I call Franken furniture. And it's really neat. I love it. We call it Franken furniture because it's a whole bunch of different furniture pieces that were put together and it's in rough shape. It looks good from a distance, but when we get up close, you can see there's holes all over. It's quite dirty. It's just not in great shape and not a very pretty piece. There's a lot of stains, a lot of fingerprints, and all kinds of stuff. You can also see I keep all of my antique quilts that I haven't done videos on yet. So you're seeing a little bit of a sneak peek of some videos that are coming up, many videos that are coming up. And you can see up on top, I have all my buttons and my design wall that I can pull out right here, which is just on foam board. And I can slide that out to use it. So there are a lot of issues in this room, even though it's a great room and a great space. I'm just not sure where to go. We've talked about putting in a loft. We've talked about putting in built-ins along one wall. I can't even decide on the color paint. I can't decide on the layout. I can't decide on anything, and I'm just kind of stuck. So what would you do? How would you fix some of these issues? So a few things that I'm really stuck on is I have baseboard heating, so I can't change that. It runs along most of the room. I need to figure out how to incorporate any kind of built-in with the baseboard heating. I also hate the color gray that's on the wall. This was painted on every wall in our house and it's just a really low quality paint. You can see through it, there's splotching, there's all kinds of issues with that. I kind of want a fun color, but because I record videos, I really need a white or something bright in here. So I'd love some help on that. So tell me what you would do. How would you fix all of these concerns? I'd love to hear from you. Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day and I can't wait to hear from you and hear your suggestions.